All for coming tonight to our candidates night. Thank you again to all the candidates for the different positions running either in state, county, or local elections. They will each have a 5-minute timer, which I brought with me. And then if time permits, after all the candidates have had a chance to speak, we'll try and take some questions to specific candidates. So, our next candidate is Jonathan Sackett.
Hello. For those who do not know me, my name is Jonathan Sackett, and I'm running for mayor of Rockaway Township. I'm currently the Ward 4 councilman and council president. I've lived in Rockaway Township for over 35 years, and my family has been here since 1973. I attended Birchwood Elementary School, Copeland Middle School, and Morris Mills High School, class of 1996. After high school, I attended Rutgers University in New Brunswick. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree majoring in economics with a minor in accounting. I'm an account executive with the biggest paint supplier in the United States and a successful small business owner. I run Family Martial Arts Center Karate School in Parsippany. I have 4 children. Aaron, 14 years old, is a freshman in high school at Morris County School of Technology. Shannon, 12 years old, is a 7th grader at Copeland Middle School. Matthew, 10 years old, 4th grade at Stony Brook. And Jennifer, 7 years old, 2nd grader at Stony Brook. My wife, Lori, 15 years, also grew up in Rockaway Township, attending Birchwood, Copeland, and Morris Hills High School. She's currently a child care provider at a small business in Rockaway Township as well. We also have 2 small dogs. As you can see, Sackett roots run deep here in Rockaway Township and will continue to for many years to come. My mother, Lois, still lives in childhood home in the Birchwood section of town and is a substitute nurse in Rockaway Township schools. I've volunteered in town for many years. I've coached soccer, basketball, football, and baseball for both boys and girls. I'm currently an assistant coach in the Rockaway Valley Soccer League for my oldest son. I volunteered at my synagogue for many years on the education committee, helping make a dash loans to Ridge School, one of the best in Morris County. I'm the chair of the Park and Recreation Committee in town. I'm on the Citizen Recreation Committee. I'm the chair of the Economic Development Committee, and I'm a member of the Rockaway Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm proud to be running one of the most diverse tickets in Rockaway Township history on the Rockaway Township New Leadership Team. We have many different backgrounds, which includes a nurse, a teacher, an IT professional, as well as a stock trader. I've proven to be bipartisan, being able to work with all parties involved. I have no personal vendettas. We need a fresh start. I plan to evaluate all positions in this town, which include the town attorney, town prosecutor, and many other positions that have been glossed over for many, many years, and make changes where appropriate. I bleed Rockaway green, being here pretty much my whole life. I always do what's right for the residents and children of this town. Now is the right time to elect me as your next mayor, instead of constantly going to the same party over and over since the 1990s. I can provide a change everyone is looking for, and I'll be able to help Rockaway Township truly reach its full potential. Since I've been on council, I've been able to accomplish many things. It has not been an easy task. I kept my word when I ran for council and brought back Rockaway Township Day. We were able to raise close to $9,000 for the town and our kids. And in 2020, it'll be even bigger and better. I helped create Ordinance 18-06, which helps to make sure our money is being used wisely by our sports programs. I was hearing for many years there's no accountability, and now all parents will know where their money is being spent by the sports programs. This year, I helped spearhead and cut over $500,000 out of our budget. There was a lot of wasteful spending by the administration, and all the cuts that I helped make did not affect our residents. I'm very proud of this. The Peterson Field renovations have been a huge talking point in this town. They were glossed over for many years and never taken seriously until I was elected in 2017. I spoke about that in my campaign in 2017, and I've been pushing for it since then. I'm the chair of the Park and Recreation Committee, and my committee has put together a master plan for Peterson Field. We have shown it to all sports programs and are ready to push it forward. Being involved with most of the sports programs since 2010, I know what parents and kids have been asking for and how they want to have our fields at best in Morris County. I will make sure to see this project through sooner than later with minimal cost to the residents and something we'll be very proud of. Since taking over as council president, I've been working on many things that have been neglected. I put together an ordinance committee that's been working hard, looking at all our town ordinances and starting to update them. This has been an issue for a while. They're looking at the Airbnb issue, which we are currently having in Wet Mill Lake, and putting together an ordinance for that. They're also looking at our land use ordinances that have been approached by Wawa, but since they're outdated, we have to update them before we continue to discuss anything. We need to put the Bullyville issue to rest. I right away put together the Board of Assessment Committee to get to work at solving this problem and ready to tackle any issues that come their way. I look forward to resolving this issue that's been plaguing our town since the 1990s. We need to be proactive with our infrastructure in town instead of reactive. We constantly have water main breaks and road issues and spending lots of money to rush and fix them. I will put together a master plan for the town to avoid the issues that come our way. We need to put together more shared services agreements with our neighboring towns. Once again, safety is also important for me, and I want to show more diversity in Rockaway Township, and I appreciate you coming out to vote for me, Jonathan Sackett, on November 5th. Thank you.
Well, Susan Herman Royko. Royek.
It's okay, she'll say Please up on deck so the next person can know what they're going out. Okay, just a question.
Hi, I'm Susan Royek. I'm running for Ward 1 Council. I'm glad I'm going early rather than later like last time. Anyway, I was born and raised in Rockaway Township. I chose to raise my daughters here as well. Like, we came back to raise them in a neighborhood I grew up in. I've worked in the corporate world as a junior financial analyst, and I've also worked in a school in Rockaway Borough as a paraprofessional and in class support, and finally, and also I worked my way into substitute teaching, K through 8th. I left there when my father became ill, and I took care of him for about 2 years until he passed. I have a degree in business, associate's degree. I chaired many fundraisers through the schools, and I worked as a Girl Scout leader with my daughters for many years as well. I'm running for council basically for checks and balances. I started attending council meetings a couple of years ago, and I was just a little upset with what was happening. I know that's all changing, so that's a good thing, but that's how I got started. And I think the council should represent all of the people, not just self-interest or certain people. There's a lot of diversity in the town. I met a lot of people recently. They gave me some issues, if I can find it. I'll go back to that. My dad was a councilman when I was younger, and I saw how he served with integrity and honesty, and I really would love to follow in his footsteps. I will work hard for the people of my ward and the town. I've met many of them when I was recently canvassing, and their main issues are the high property taxes, council lawsuits, and the safety of their neighborhoods. Evidently, a lot of the navigation systems are putting cars through streets that normally wouldn't have high traffic, so they're very upset with the reckless driving and the speeders. So I would like to get involved with that and help out. Even if I don't get elected, I would love to work with that and make our neighborhoods safer. And if anyone has any questions for me, I'll be around afterwards, but thank you.
Next candidate is John Knapp.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Pat, for hosting us again, and thank you, Doug, for taping as usual. I actually, unlike everyone else, most of my running mates and most of my opposing slate, I took a little different path to get up here. I did not I have not grown up in this town my whole life. I've been here 5 years. I actually grew up in the Pine Barrens, South Jersey, son of a federal agent and an educator. I've been married for 7 years. I have a 2-year-old son at home. And, but, you know, when I was growing up down in the Pine Barrens, I was actually an Eagle Scout. So I'm very familiar with the thought process of serving the community. I've grown up with it. So, and then once, you know, childhood and my teenage years ended, I decided to come up north of the Turnpike, and I went to Ramapo College, graduated with a degree in computer science. For the past 15 years, I've been a software developer. And one thing that my experience as a software developer has given me is it's given me the experience of being presented problems and figuring out ways to solve them, which is incredibly important in all walks of life, but especially in all forms of government. When I started to get involved about 2 years ago, I just started to get involved in politics. Didn't like what's happening nationally, so I decided to start at the local level and see what was happening. And what I saw what was happening at the local level was not spectacular, to put it lightly. So I decided to, I applied for and got appointed to the Tech Advisory Committee. And then later on, a few months later, I decided that I was going to run for council and try to bring a little bit more civility, a little more change, and bring my my experience, my skill set to the council. One thing that I think Jonathan already mentioned was fiscal responsibility. I am a Democrat, but I am a fiscally conservative Democrat. I don't like having money spent wildly. It just makes me uncomfortable. I invite everyone to go back and look at the March council meeting, March budget meetings, and you get to see, as Jonathan said, cutting $500,000 from, as he did, and Councilman Freelander in the back did, and you get to see it. I invite everyone to do that. That's definitely the kind of government that I want to be part of moving forward. One thing that is a personal note of mine is about getting permits in the town. I've been working on this one particular permit on my property for a few years now. It's actually gotten easier to know what I have to do to get through the permit process. One thing I think could be a little easier on the residents is not even the cost of permits, which usually are only a few $100s, not bad, but the cost of the documentation to get those permits, engineering costs, DEP costs. If a resident could know what that is before starting, they'd be able to better budget for their time for their project. That's something I definitely want to look into. One thing that also needs to be done is the ordinances in this town have not been updated in quite some time. They're starting to. I know Jonathan mentioned the Wawa about the businesses that need, basically, the Wawa, and also the also to update them to prevent OPMA violations, because a few of those have happened, and it's really been a legal mess for the town. Those are starting to get better. We want to just make sure we prevent them going forward. And again, the needs assessment on the rec, not just rec structures and the fields, just to make sure, and not just Peterson Field, but also at all the fields, all throughout town. If anyone has any questions, you can. I'll be hanging out afterward. You can always just give me a shout. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Amy Kolis.
Hi, everybody. Amy Kolis, Sagittarius. Thanks for having us here, and I promised that my parents said I would speak into the microphone and slowly. I grew up in White Meadow. My parents grew up in White Meadow. They met here, and it really is the land of milk and honey. If you consider the land of milk and honey a place where there's wonderful schools, beautiful land, safe land. We even have beaches, we have lakes, we have anything you could want, and you could get into the college of your choice, and you can win a Nobel Prize. I haven't yet, but I could, because I grew up in Rockaway Township. And it's so important to me that Rockaway Township remains the same, that we have our great schools, we had great teachers and awesome schools, and I can't stress that enough. And I wanted to stay that way. I want to really protect Rockaway Township so that all future generations, kids now and in the future, will always have the opportunities that I have. So that's first, and it brings me into number two, having fiscal responsibility, which everybody has mentioned. It really has nothing to do with party, if you ask me. I went to the University of North Carolina, which I said I had the college of my choice, and that's the number one. At UNC, I remember when I got there and I saw signs for the Young Republicans Club, and I thought, isn't that an oxymoron? Because I really didn't know, leaving Rockaway Township, that anyone was Republican or Democrat. I mean, I kind of didn't even know now. I realized that we all had parties, but I didn't think it had anything to do with how this town was run. Because really, don't we want the same things? We want a safe place for our kids. We want clean air. We want great schools. We want fiscal responsibility, which, yes, I went to UNC, and then I got my MBA and my Master's of Health Administration. So it doesn't take an MBA to know that taxes really are based on money in versus money out. So what if we could think of some things that would bring money in by tapping into government programs that allowed us to bring renewable energy programs, so it would help the environment at the same time as bringing in money, lowering our tax dollars. And of course, we've all talked about the lawsuits, the frivolous lawsuits that are going to be no more. So lowering taxes, is it a possibility? Well, we would all love it. Republican, Democrat, it doesn't have anything to do with that. So getting along has a lot to do with it. Which brings me to my third reason that my big thing that I want to run about. I am a hardline anti-bullying person. No bullying for kids, adults, politicians. There's really no reason for any of us to have bullying in our lives. We've had some tragedies in this town, and we need to really remember, arguing bad. We need to all listen to one another. We all may have different ideas, we may have different opinions, but when we get together and discuss and negotiate, we probably will learn that we have more similarities, especially now. What a good group after all the years that we've gone through turmoil. It's nice to be a part of my ticket, which seems to be on this side, and some of them are on this side. There's the suits over there. Also, I have to mention, we have some women who are running now. Isn't it WOMAN? We do bring some different things, a lot of good reasoning, a lot of intelligence, a lot of thoughtfulness, and we will really, bring everybody into our arms. And so, basically, in summary, I want to keep the town as beautiful as it always was and is, and get us into the best schools, and be kind and rule with, govern together in a spirit of community. And that's it. Our doors will always be open, and we'll help with anything that we can. Thank you.
And last but not least, Sree. And I'm not going to try and say her last name because I'll massacre it.
Hi everyone. If it's okay with you, I'm not going to use the podium because I will definitely leave and get into some bad habits. So my name is Sree Madappali, and I appreciate you guys toughing it out with everyone and staying to the end and hearing me as well. I want to give you a little background about myself because I understand that I'm a new face and I want you to get to know me. So I was born and raised in a town super, super far away. Denville, it's 4 miles down the road. And I've basically been in this area my entire life. I went to Drew University to get my bachelor's in biology, and then I continued on to County College of Morris, where I received my associate's in nursing. After I received my nursing license, I worked with newborns for a really long time. It was a sweet and wonderful world. And then I transitioned to an entirely different world, working in substance use and addiction. But while working in that first job, something else interesting happened to me. I reconnected with someone that I had a crush on since I was 7 years old. That's my boyfriend. And as we got to spend a lot of time together, I got to see a lot more of Rockaway, because that's where I lived. And before we knew it, we made the decision to, put down our own roots here and build our own home here in Rockaway. And then I just kind of dove right into it and became part of the Rockaway political scene. I joined the Rockaway Township new leadership team as their publicity director first. And for several months, that's what I did. I inundated everyone on social media. That was me. And when an opening came up, I was super, super excited to accept the position on the slate as candidate. What I would like to bring to council, I primarily and personally have 2 goals. The first is, I look at a lot of things from a nursing perspective, and I kind of take a nursing approach with a lot of things in my life, which may be annoying to my boyfriend, but it's good, it's good. But I want to kind of bring that to council and to Rockaway in general, because a nurse is at the center of care. They are responsible for facilitating communication between what seems like a million disciplines. And that's what I want to do with our council and our mayor and our board of education. One of my personal goals is to get the conversation moving forward so we can all aggressively attack bullying and find a way to move the conversation forward and facilitate getting lead into all of our schools. So all our children, all our future children, can have the best chance possible, and so they're all well equipped for what's out there in the world. My other personal goal is that I think that there are so many different kinds of people here in Rockaway. Different backgrounds, different cultures, so many things to be celebrated. But I think we could do a little bit of a better job of that. I would like to form a diversity and cultural awareness committee. So we can do that. We can celebrate all the parts of our community, and then everyone inside and outside looking in can look at Rockaway as inclusive and welcoming to all, and warm and loving, because that's what we want to be. I appreciate your time. Again, thank you for organizing this. Thank you for toughing it out to the end. I hope I am waking up a little bit. I would love to shake your hand, and I would love to get to know you more. And thank you for your time.